What's up, everyone? Steel Steps Podcast. Starting the show a little differently this week. As some of you may have known, the Edge of Philly family was hit by a loss this week. One of our podcasting co-hosts, Gus, who runs the Union show, he's also a Union credentialed member. He's at all the Union games, covers the Union for Edge of Philly. Tragically, at the age of 34, passed away this past Saturday. So today, to start the show, we just want to do a moment of silence to remember one of our key members to the Edge of Philly family.
Rest in peace to Gus, man. Definitely going to be missed on behalf of the EOP family, as well as being a pillar of the Devereaux sports movement. So rest in peace to Gus, man.
For sure, for sure.
That's good for sure. Rest in peace,
10,
brother.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is good, everyone? It is your boy Politic and Hawk alongside my guys, Mr. Moya Fit, Chris Wilson, Mr. Joey Woods. We are Still Steps coming to you live on a beautiful, chilly, snowy Friday evening, courtesy of Edge of Philly Sports. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
This week has been rough.
Chilly.
Eagles, there's weather. It's been a rough week.
The Who?
Yeah, it's been a rough week, but we press on. We keep moving.
The Eagles don't exist in my head until after pitchers and catchers. Now it's Philly. Right now we're Philly, Flyers, and Sixers. The Eagles are done.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I left them in 2023.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a new year, baby.
Seems like the Eagles got left in September. So
yeah, seriously.
That's a fact. And we could go on and on about that. But anyway,
but we love you, Kelsey. But we love you, Kelsey.
The big facts. But we're all here for that turnbuckle talk. So we greatly appreciate all our viewers that's tuned in to us this Friday evening. Hopefully everyone is staying warm. We got a ton to talk about. A lot of breaking news that just happened over the last 48 hours. But before we do get it, start discussing some of those events that had taken place, we do have a special guest joining us this evening. Our guest this evening is from the New York City, New York area, and he is also a former Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling United States champion. Joining us this evening is none other than the Closer Jarett Diaz. Mr. Jarett, what is good, my brother?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Listen, I'm going to say a couple things just before I start talking about myself. The Eagles choked away the division. That's number one. Number two, if you want a better pitchers and catchers and a better hat in general, I got one for you right here. That's number two. And number three, if you're thinking about the Phillies and the Flyers, then you're missing the best team in your city, the 76ers, who lost about 40 to the Knicks 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to leave it there. Let's talk wrestling.
Hey, I did say the Sixers. I said Phillies, Flyers, and Sixers. I did say Sixers.
I don't mean to antagonize myself at the beginning of a podcast, but that's what
you're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the quickest interview we ever had on this show. Let's give it up for Mr. Diaz. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on, brother. It's been real.
Oh man, big facts. But Jarett, before we dive into the turnbuckle talk, we got Big Al, chiming in, thanking us for the tribute to Gus, and he also, coming back Mets fan. I may hit him with a chair. No, we got to protect the talent.
My man's already injured. My man's already injured over here.
You brought me here. Your fans are attacking me. That's crazy.
Oh,
to be fair, we are Edge of Philly, so the Mets hat right there is like not quite as bad as Cowboys. Not quite
Oh,
as
I
bad
know
as
what I'm
Cowboys.
doing. I know what I'm doing.
you bought the edge to Edge of Philly Sports. Fuck that. Somebody clip that. but no, again, Jarett, we greatly appreciate you coming on this evening. Before we, dive into your journey into pro wrestling, we were just off camera, we're just kind of like, talking about some of the breaking news that just broke earlier today. And speaking of Seth Rollins, who word came out that he tore the MCL and partially torn his meniscus, and it looks like he's going to be out, for a significant amount of time. With a big pay-per-view coming up within a week, as well as WrestleMania season really around the corner at this moment. Tell us about the mindset of a professional wrestler right now, and having to deal with such a significant injury.
Sure. I mean, look, the wrestling schedule is crazy, especially at the WWE level. You have your live events, aka your house shows. You have your weekly TVs, and you have your PLEs once a month, and that schedule is grueling. And especially Seth Rollins, who puts in such a work rate in the ring. It takes a toll on the body, right? This is not even the first time he's had a knee injury around this time. I remember just a few years back when he was feuding with Samoa Joe. He had that rivalry, and he was dealing with the knee as well right before he wrestled Triple H at Mania, right? So this is not the first time. He also, blew his knee out in that live event, dropped the title, maybe 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. It's not the first time, and it's unfortunate to see. It's bad timing, but knowing what we know about knee injuries and about the meniscus and the MCL is that they're not the ACL. This is not a 9 to 12 month recovery. He's got 3 solid months before WrestleMania. And truthfully, if you're WWE, if you're Triple H or whoever it is making the absolute decisions, Seth Rollins should not be in action for the next 3 months. That's just realistic for his recovery, right? He's your world heavyweight champion. He's slated potentially to be one of the main events in WrestleMania against whoever it is that wins the Rumble. Why would you risk that? Why would you put that at risk? So if I'm Seth Rollins, I'm doing everything to get healthy as soon as I can. And if I'm the executives in the building, I'm gonna do everything I can to help him with that and not put him at risk. That's just my opinion.
So a follow up to that would be looking at timing. It's not a Backlash pay-per-view he's missing. It's Rumble and possibly Mania. How much do you think that plays a part in the recovery and how hard you push your body to be back for those 2 probably biggest premier live events in all of wrestling, honestly?
Oh, it plays a major role. I mean, it's effectively it's your Super Bowl, it's your big dance, it's the night that you get to pay off all of the year's work, all of the live events that he's on the road for, all the premium live events that he's headlining because the Universal Champion is a part-timer, which is not an offense. That's just the fact of his current status, right? So Seth Rollins put in all of the work, effectively carrying the title picture on his back from the majority of this year. The last thing you want to do is blow that out right before Mania. So from a business standpoint, to not have your Monday Night Raw is your flagship program. You don't want to not have that champion on the Royal Rumble. But Roman's on the show. That's a selling point. The Royal Rumble matches, both male and female, those are selling points. If there's any time to give him a breather right before the big show, it's this one. Like I said, the timing's not great, but you got to give your star, one of your main event guys, an opportunity to get healthy.
Yeah. I was seeing a lot of people saying like, just let him rehab, let him maybe do some satellite, promo pieces where he kind of beefs with whoever wins the Rumble. So he doesn't have to be there. He can stay home and kind of rehab everything so you don't risk anything. But yeah, I definitely agree. Their hands kind of been forced in terms of what the next steps are.
It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. At the end of the day with wrestling is your best ability is availability. And if you're not around for the big show, it doesn't matter, how many tickets you sold all year. So give him a chance to get healthy and see if he can. And if he can't, then you switch gears, in inning 8 if you have to.
Yeah, healthy, healthy recovery to Seth, man. Such a major blow, to happen, with Royal Rumble right around the corner, as well as WrestleMania season coming up. So yeah, definitely prayers and healthy recovery to him. So Jarett, what we like to do here on the Still Steps is when we have a new guest, joining us, we like to pick their brain to understand, how they were exposed to professional wrestling. So for you, what was the first moment you were exposed to professional wrestling?
Okay, so it's a little hard to pinpoint the very first moment. I have flash memories of like Chris Jericho action figure when I was 5 years old, or playing SmackDown Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth on like PS2 that wasn't even mine, right? At a cousin's house, at a friend's house, whatever. The first real moment where I was introduced to wrestling that stuck, I was 10 years old. I was in the after school program. My parents, they both worked multiple jobs. And right after school, one of my classmates had a PSP, right? PlayStation Portable. He was playing
Nice.
SmackDown versus Raw, I think 2007, right? Because this was like late 06, maybe early 2007. And he's playing it. And I look over his shoulder at what he's playing, and I see a man in the ring. Nice cinematic shot, right? Like a cutscene almost. A man stomping in the ring, holding the ropes over and over and over, and a big old kick to the face, right? And I'm like, oh, what's that? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And he tells me, he's like, oh, it's WWE. Like, you got to watch it, dude. It's on tonight. It's Monday night at 9:00. You got to watch it. I'm like, okay, yeah, of course. And after some convincing, because I'm 10, right? My bedtime is 9:00. After some convincing, my mom gives me the extra 30 minutes, right? She gives me the Iggy to stay up a little late. So it's like 9:08, 9:09 at this point, right? The show's already moving. I turn on the TV. I find Monday Night Raw in the channel guide if you're, over the age of 25. And it's literally the first thing I see is Jeff Hardy doing a dive onto Umaga. And immediately I'm hooked. That's the first thing that I see of live wrestling. And how lucky am I to see something, to see two superstars as iconic as Jeff Hardy and the late great Umaga. And that really motivated what I do now as an athlete, as a performer, is like, I do like to take those risks. I do like to be flashy, but the very first thing I saw was a dive, and that stuck. And immediately I'm hooked. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I'm going to watch it all the time. And I did. And a lot of the kids that at like 12, 13 years old, when they realize wrestling isn't exactly on the up and up, you'll start to age out. You watch it a little less. You're moving on. You're growing up, whatever. When I found out that it wasn't what kids think it is, I dove even further, because then I realized, like, oh, this is a job. Like, people learn how to do this. It's a craft that you can master. And that's when it really set into me, like, oh, I want to be a wrestler one day. And whenever it is that I finished playing football, because I played football through high school and in college, and I said, whenever I'm done with football, I'm going to take it as long as it can take me, and I'm going to be a wrestler. And that's so far, that's what I've been doing.
Oh man, that's great. That's actually, kind of going into my follow-up question. So like at what point, I guess it had to have been after college, after the football, career, then you decided to venture out as far as like going into full-time training. So how was it as far as like, the process, as far as like, looking for the training facility to train at? Like, was it difficult, or what, at this time, was it pretty easy to locate?
It was a little bit of a interesting journey, because when I was finishing high school and I had the summer before I went to college to go play ball, I had maybe, half of May, June, and then July. And then by first week of August, I was out to go training camp. But when I was graduating high school, it was around the same time in 2014 where like a batch of wrestlers were released from WWE. One of those being Kurt Hawkins, Brian Myers, who's when he opened up Creative Pro, that's where I went. So Creative Pro Academy in Long Island, who's trained MJF and Chris Statlander and Max Caster and a ton of other talent, right? A ton of talented guys. And that's where I began my wrestling journey. And I took the first couple of months when I had finished high school, and I said, all right, I'm going to dip my toes in this. I'm going to see how it feels. I'm going to see if I take to this. And it was difficult, right? That first day, I'm sure any wrestler will tell you that first day of bumps will tell you if you really want to do this or not. And it was brutal, but I was excited to go back the next day, and that's how I knew. Fast forward through my college football career, which wasn't long. I played 2 years in Indiana at a Division II school, and then I followed that up with community college back here in New York. When I wanted to finish pursuing my bachelor's degree, I moved down to Full Sail University in Orlando, which is where NXT was held for a very long time, which I did on purpose, and we'll put a pin in that. But I moved down to Orlando intentionally to finish my broadcast, to finish my bachelor's. And while I was living down there, and I knew I was surrounded by wrestling, and I thought to myself at this point, like, all right, I'm not playing football. I don't have any extracurriculars like holding me back or distracting me. I just have school. Really, for the first time in my life, I just had school, and I missed being an athlete. And I knew that it was time to, start properly pursuing this. And at this point, I was about 22.
Oh, nice. So
shout out to Full Sail real fast. Chris, shout out to Full Sail. I'm currently in Full Sail.
Yeah.
Hey,
I forgot
good
about
for
that.
you, man. Congrats. It is a school. I can tell you it's the best decision I made moving down to Orlando and going to Full Sail University, because it had the tools when I was in the building with sports broadcasting to learn everything that I needed with what I do now in my work, where it's like I'm creating content and I'm writing scripts and I'm editing a lot, and I learned all of that at Full Sail. And in addition, which is, I guess I'll take a pin out now, I was an intern at the WWE Performance Center in Winter Park while I was a student at Full Sail, because of the relationships that were already in place.
Yeah, no, they always ask me like they know I'm a big wrestling guy, and they're like, oh, well, we have this, and I'm like, well, unfortunately, I'm in Philadelphia. I can't just fly down there every week to do it, but I'm gonna get to see the campus on next week sometime when I'm down there for the Rumble. So I'm excited to see it is, because
That's awesome, man. Yeah, please go check that out. It's phenomenal down there. And then that was how I really pursued what I was doing with wrestling. Is I was at wrestling school, but I was also at the Performance Center, and I was learning double time I was learning double speed in half the time, and I was picking brains of when it comes to broadcasting, like Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips, who's now Hannafin with TNA, and Caleb Braxton and Alicia Taylor. And I was also in the building working with your Adam Coles, your Ricochets, your Garganos, Ciampas, and everybody else that was in the building. And I was just learning, and I was just being the best sponge that I could be.
Amazing. So when we go back to your first match, because now you made a decision of this is what you want to do. You like this,
Sure.
didn't want to do school. This is what you want to do. You want to wrestle. You want to get in there. You did your first round of bumps. It was brutal, but you say, you know what? I could do this. I can tough it out. Do what I do. Your first match. Who was your first match with? And what was that mindset going into the first match? Was this like, all right, I'm just going to go out, let it all out there. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to let it flow. Or was it, please, God, do not F this up because I need to make the best first impression I can make? Like, what was that mindset going to your actual match?
Nerves. It was all nerves. And I'm going to tell you why it was all nerves. My very first match on a proper wrestling show was in a high school at Flagler High School in Flagler, Florida. So like central towards the East Coast. And my second cousin is a wrestler by the name of Jason Cade, who wrestled with MLW. He did a ton on Revolver, right? And he's no longer active. But when I first moved down to Florida, he was helping me out. He took me under his wing and was like, hey, I'm going to introduce you to these people. I'm going to make sure that you get the best, networking that you can, because when you do get a hang of this, you'll be able to get the ball rolling just a little bit quicker than the people who are starting from scratch, right? And I had that opportunity to learn from him and a lot of guys that he was cool with as well. And he was my first match, and he was way too good to be wrestling with me. He was far out of my league. But it was all right because, he knew that I was an athlete, and he understood like what my limitations were wrestling wise. And so when we had this match that was, 12 to 15 we were given, and I did not have enough of a moveset to support that. I didn't have the work rate to fill 15 minutes of wrestling. So he was just feeding me content to fill the move. Like I'm in the locker room with him, and let's peel back the curtain a little bit. He's telling me, all right, what do you do? What can you do? And I said, okay, I can do a dive, I can do a mean ass drop kick, and I can do a Randy Orton power slam, and that's it. And those are the three things that I felt that I could do without with no shot of messing up. Good. I'm good. I'm secure on those. And he said, okay, here's where we're going to put that. Here's where we're going to put that. Here's where we're going to put that. Now let's fill everything else. And he just was telling me what to do, what not to do, what moves to do. And then when we get to actually wrestling, when we get to, hitting the curtain and going out and performing for however many, 20 to 40 people that were there, it all leaves. It all leaves my brain. And now he's directing traffic, walking and talking me through it, while also having to be the one to really drive the car on this match. I can proudly say that I didn't mess up. Nobody got hurt. Everything went smoothly. And for a first match, I'm very proud of it. If I were to have that same match today, I'd be pissed at myself. But at the same time, if I had to wrestle him today, I know we'd kill it. So it's a learning process, right? You try not to be too hard on yourself. You just want to get better every time you wrestle.
Okay. So now you say you only had those certain moves. You had the mean drop kick, you had the Randy Orton body slam, all stuff like this.
And I had a tope, a big dive. And
had a big tope, and the dive. Let's not forget that. So to add to that, as you're progressing and making your move sets a little more versatile, is there any specific wrestler who you catered after? You was like, you know what, that guy's moveset is crazy. Maybe I could follow him or mix him with him, and then add a little mix of me into it. Like, was it somebody as soon as you saw him, you're like, I want to do that?
100%. There were guys that I was already watching that I knew I wanted to emulate before I'd even had my first match, right? And a lot of the guys that I'm watching and saying, okay, here's something that I can try and mold my game to. It's like being an athlete, right? When I was in the football world, I was watching your Russell Wilsons, your Johnny Manziels as an undersized guy. Like, how do they move? How do they play? And so when I got to wrestling, it's like I'm watching Finn Balor, I'm watching Adam Cole, I'm watching Dolph Ziggler. I'm always watching Shawn Michaels, but that's its own thing. The guys that are doing it at the top of their game at a certain pace that I prefer, that my body itself is similar to. So I watched a lot of Finn Balor matches. I watched a lot of Adam Cole. I watched a lot of Ricochet. I watched a lot of Ospreay before he put on all that weight and became the heavyweight flyer, because that dude is a tank. And then as I got a little better and I wanted to get even more advanced, I was watching like Mustafa Ali, who just pulls things out of his pocket that nobody's even seen before casually. So I would say those are definitely some in-ring influences. But I'm not to toot my own horn, but I don't consider myself just a high flyer or just a striker. Like, I do try to implement some power moves into my game. I watch a Kevin Owens and I say, okay, I can do a pop-up powerbomb if the guy I'm wrestling is that size. Because I'm not, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm about 185 pounds, which is not in independent wrestling that small. You know what I mean? Right. It's just the level that I'm at. I'm considered a medium-sized guy. So I try to have a more versatile offense than maybe, someone who you consider a cruiserweight or a high flyer. But that's where I lean.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, we're talking to the closer, Jarett Diaz, on the steel steps. So, Jarett, I know you've been active in professional wrestling for about 6 years now. What do you find, that's challenging, during this journey into the wrestling business?
Tough. Good question. I think the most challenging thing has been avoiding plateaus, right? I see a lot of people in my industry, a lot of people around my experience level that will get steady at certain places and they like that. And I don't want to say complacency because that has a negative connotation, but more just like when they get in the water, they'll tread water, right? And I've always been a person who is very persistent and who likes to challenge themselves. So I'm often swimming against currents that maybe I shouldn't be, or reaching for stars and hoping that I land on clouds, right? For example, I had a match last year at Wrestling Revolver against Speedball Mike Bailey, and Speedball, in my opinion, is the best wrestler in the world that isn't with WWE or AEW, and I'll have that debate with anybody in the world. That guy is phenomenal, and he's also been one of the people who have supported my journey and handed a lot of advice. I have a ton of respect for that guy. So when Pro Wrestling Revolver put out a Twitter open call and was like, hey, cut a promo and tell us why you think you should wrestle Speedball, I shot that promo. I edited that promo and I put it out on Twitter, and it was like seen and quote tweeted with just a pair of eyes. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sit on my hands and wait. So I cut another promo about 4 days later, calling him out for not really responding to the promo. And that got Revolver's attention. That got Sami Callihan's attention, and he booked me for the match. And I've just never been the type to sit on my hands. So that's something that is a continuous challenge, is like pushing farther than maybe I think people at my level are.
Interesting. You know what? Speaking of like the challenges, tell us what peeves you in professional wrestling today.
What peeves me?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of things peeves me, man. I don't want to make a list. I don't want to hold you here all night. No. I can give you a couple things, but I'm not gonna. I don't need to, really elaborate on everything. Something that peeves me in professional wrestling are promoters who don't respect their talent. I would say, just to put a little bit of elaboration on that, it's like a lot of promoters believe that their promotion is the sell, and it doesn't matter who's coming in and out of the doors. And that is entirely unfair to us, the people who are in the ring, the ones who are creating that art. And the promoters who create that platform for the artists are important, and I would never say they're not. But I think that there are some promoters out there that just, have such strong feelings and strong loyalties to what they've created that they aren't as collaborative as maybe they should be. That's something I'll say that peeves me in wrestling.
Yeah, I definitely like that answer. And real quick on the Bailey situation.
Sure.
I do for PW Ponderings, and we did like a year-end rewards. And literally before we started voting, they said, when we do Wrestler of the Year, it's anyone but Mike Bailey, because everyone said Mike Bailey, and then they're like, you can pick anyone but him. So it's like he gets his own award category. So it's funny you.
Not only is he exceptional, but he's incredibly busy. I was on WXW last year, and he happened to be there, and I said, hey, just casually, because it's something that I do. I'm like, hey, like, what do you have coming up? What do you got going on? And he pulls out his phone and he shows me just scrolling of dates in his notes, not even scheduled. He just pulls up a list of just dates. I don't know how he stays this busy and doesn't get tired or want a day off.
Yeah, I think he broke the record last season for like the shows. I think he was doing like a show at 11, then he went and did a show at 2, and then back to GCW at a show at 7. Like he did, I think, like 20 matches that weekend alone, which is astronomical. But going back to your,
he's incredible.
For sure. No, definitely one of the best in the world. But going back to your football background, we see a lot more now in WWE where they're signing less, what I would say is independent wrestlers, and more athletes who come from football or basketball and stuff like that. So when you said, okay, wrestling is going to be my full-time thing, this is what I'm going to do, did you feel like you maybe not had it easier, but because you were so athletic and you had that football background, it helped ease you into wrestling a little bit faster than someone who maybe didn't have that sports background?
Sure. Okay, well, there's two ways to look at this, right? There's the mindset and there's the physical ability. I think my mindset in football as a undersized quarterback who came from New York, where nobody cares about football, that put me in a position to understand at a very early age that nobody is going to pluck you out of obscurity. You have to go get people's attention. I learned this by visiting schools and colleges all around the country just to get myself recruited. So when I get to wrestling and I learned that it's the same thing, that gave me a big advantage. That absolutely gave me a big advantage. When it comes to the physicality of it, yeah, I'm used to like contact. I'm used to getting put on my back sometimes. I'm used to falling. But I think that the athleticism translates. A lot of the technique and a lot of the movement really don't. I had to learn to slow down, and slow down even more when I got to wrestling because I was so used to running for my life. I was very fleet-footed as a quarterback, and so in wrestling, footwork is number one. If you're even 4 inches away from where you're supposed to be, you could get hurt. Somebody else could get hurt. The things that we do in the wrestling ring do not translate to the football field in regards to movement and footwork. So that was the biggest challenge physically for me, was learning how to slow down, gaining my body control in a different way.
Yeah, it's not. It was really interesting to me when I saw them make that switch. Like less independent wrestlers, more athletes now. So that was interesting to me. But
Sure.
let's talk about goals. So when you enter it, everyone has the goals. WWE, or at this point AEW, they want to be the biggest star possible. Which, listen, everyone wants to make the money, and I get it. But now I feel like that's kind of changed in the past maybe 4 years or so now, where independent wrestling is a viable, like you said, speedball with the bookings out the wazoo. Has that mindset with the way wrestling has changed and kind of independent wrestling is blowing up now everywhere, has that changed your end goals at all in terms of what you want to do in the wrestling business?
No. The short answer being no. I think that it is incredible that people like Myron Reed and Jordan Oliver, people like Speedball, people like Effie, for example, can make a living in professional wrestling, not have to have some sort of side hustle or shoot job without working with WWE or AEW, right? But my goal has always been to wrestle on a mainstream TV contract. That goal hasn't changed. Around this time last year, when I was doing AEW Dark pretty regularly, and I was just starting to network a lot and feeling like momentum was beginning to get on my side, I put something in writing, and I have yet to erase it off my whiteboard in my room, and it says 2023 come up, 2024 pen to paper. And that's the goal. The goal is to sign a contract. And you set goals for yourself because you want that, but you also set goals for yourself because if you don't, how do you challenge yourself? That's how I've always seen it. So even if it doesn't, if I don't reach my TV contract goal this year, I'll reach it next year or the year after that. The idea is that your work evolves, your work ethic can evolve, but your goal, if you feel that strongly about it, it doesn't have to.
Nice.
That's deep.
That is deep. That is deep.
I appreciate it.
That's why everybody all quiet. We was like,
Yeah, like taking it in.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I don't, like we've had many talent on, like the way you just broke it down, like to the essence, like it really sat well with us, because one thing that I've learned, and Chris, I'm gonna kick it to you, in just 1 minute. My bad. Like for me, we've been doing our wrestling show for over a year and some change now, and like around summertime might have been like the first opportunity for us to be able to go on the media scrums and be able to like really interact with the wrestlers and just like understanding the talent as the person versus the actual character, and knowing how much time and effort that it takes for them to be successful in this industry. Like, it's a humbling experience. Like,
absolutely, man. I appreciate you saying that too. It's countless hours on the road. It's putting in the work when you're in the gym. It's figuring out how to balance your job that pays your rent until you don't have to have that job anymore. It's a lot of things. In wrestling, when people ask me that don't know that much about it, I explain it. It's like, hey, I'm the talent, but I'm also my own social media manager, my own gear designer, my own promoter, my own merch design. Like I'm the whole business. And when you're running a business on your own, the stakes are as high as they get. But it's also great for somebody like me who is self-reliant. And I know that if I fail or if something doesn't go way that I want it to, it is oftentimes on me to pick it back up and fix it however I can. And I like that. I like that on my shoulders.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Accountability.
That's a great mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right now, with that mindset, we want to go to the big time. We want to go to the big leagues, whatever you want to go.
That's the dream.
Japan, AEW, WWE, like this. So all three companies are buying for you. You're the number one lottery pick.
Sure.
They all want you. You
Great.
know, both the cons want you. You know, New Japan wants you. So he's like, all right, you got to pick a team like this. But we throwing you right into the fire. So if they say you picking a team, who is the guy that they're like, all right, you're facing this guy, and you're not like, yeah, let's go. A part of you's like, oh shit, okay. It's like, oh, so this is real. It's like, all right, who's that guy that you like? You want to face him, but
I'm not gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you two.
Okay.
Right? Because I am media trained and I know how to answer these types of questions.
Smart. I was trying to lure you in there.
I'm gonna give you one on each side. You ready? It's Samoa Joe because it should be. It should be for every wrestler in this business. And it's Drew McIntyre. Have you seen that guy?
Wow.
Have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
Dude, listen.
He can move.
I am willing and able to wrestle anybody on this planet. I really feel that way. But when I get in the ring with one of those guys, whenever I have the blessing to do so, I'm afraid I'm gonna die a little bit, you know, because those guys are world enders. They are beast beaters. But that's an opportunity that I would also, do my best to rise to the occasion to.
Awesome. There's a two monsters. So yeah, you're right. There's two guys. You kind of like, all right, this is gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah,
a lot of selling.
Yes.
No kidding.
Awesome. What's the name? So all right. So follow up question again. So you're in the organizations now. Like, who would you say like you done your thing? As far as a single competitor. Sometimes they have makeshift tag teams. People they throw together, and just like, this we're just gonna do this to see what happens, but it turns into gold. Team Hell No, Team Rated RKO. This even to the latest thing of Braun and Ricochet. That actually turned out to be something amazing. So, who would be a tag team partner of yours that like people on paper, people would kind of be like, really, but it would be gold?
That's a good question. I think if you go by my presence and how I really carry myself as a sort of cocky pretty boy, I have no place teaming with a guy like Eddie Kingston. But that's who I would want to, right? Like, look, we're from very similar places and similar backgrounds. I like Eddie, and I think Eddie likes me.
He would absolutely hate you. He would absolutely
I think he likes me, but I could never know for sure. So I would.
That's what I'm saying.
That would actually be gold on television. Yeah,
that'd be like
you said that.
I think that would be fun.
That would
Tony,
be absolutely
I hope you're listening.
This is absolutely amazing. I'm glad you said that, because honestly, for some reason I thought that was gonna be the guy that would be kind of fearful to face. Like, oh man, he's gonna shoot on me.
Eddie Kingston is on my list. I want it with him.
That'd be a great tag team.
But you know what? Not to intervene on this, but like, see, the way they gotta sell it is that they can't make you like they can't make you like on the diva side in a way, like where it's like you're not willing to do certain
I just
things.
Don't wanna, like it's,
right.
You do that.
Right.
I'll watch.
Yeah. and that's the thing. You can sell that. You can be like this, like y'all both from New York, but like this, even though you're in the same area, you can be like, yeah, but we don't really do things like that.
We're past that,
Yeah.
as a city.
Look, we about to go to the ring, and meanwhile, y'all walking to the ring. He picking up the trash can. You're like,
we don't stab people on the corners anymore. We don't do that.
We don't need that.
Eddie, we don't need that trash
can. We
can.
don't play dice in the alleys. We're done with that as a city.
Eddie's trying to pass you a 40. So what are you talking about? Drink this. Come on.
that would be great.
Like, this is not a no disqualification match, Eddie.
Yeah. Like, who raised this kid?
We got to fight straight up.
It'd be fun.
Great. That is a great tag team partner for you.
So we mentioned a lot about like who you might want to face and who's on your list and stuff like that. A couple months, Philly is going to be the epicenter of all professional wrestling. Can we expect to see you in Philadelphia that weekend on some cards? And what do you have in store for that weekend? Anything in the books yet?
Easy answer is yes. Right now, I have Thursday, April 4th, Friday, April 5th, and Saturday, April 6th, all booked out. Currently, I'm wrestling with the Wrestling Independent and some other promotions. I think 1CW and a couple of other as well. Maybe the Monster Factory is involved with that. I'm not entirely sure. That's on the Thursday. On the Friday, I'm wrestling with 5 Star Wrestling, which I'm supposed to be at on Sunday, but unfortunately, due to injury, I cannot. And then on Saturday, on the 6th, I'll be wrestling with CZW, which is a promotion that I've worked with for a couple years now, and a place that I've really wanted to work with since I first got into independent wrestling when I was like 14. And I've had the amazing opportunities to wrestle with them. I've wrestled Rich Swann. I've wrestled Freddie Yehai. Like I've had some really awesome opportunities there. So I'll be wrestling with them WrestleMania weekend on the 6th on Saturday. And more to come because he's got a few more days there to book out.
Yeah. And everything's in close vicinity. So I mean, might see him more than one spot, right? A day, possibly?
I'm sure I'll see you guys down there. I'm sure I'll see you guys down there.
We're gonna be flowing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's gonna be a crazy weekend, man. I'm just trying to think of all the shows.
It's gonna be a blast. I'm looking forward to hanging out with guys, getting that work in, networking a lot, not sleeping too much. I'm looking forward to all of it.
I've been thinking about that all week. Like, when am I going to sleep during Mania week? Like, I don't know. Like, I really do not know. Like,
while I'm married, so unfortunately, I have to come home. So I'm I'm figuring that out now.
I see it.
And I already told Jared, my wife's Puerto Rican, and her last name coincidentally was Diaz. So I think y'all look crazy.
Get out of here.
Yeah, y'all might be related. I don't know. We could be cousins.
But so you mentioned CZW, and you kind of know their history of ultra-violent and death match. Is that something you kind of just want to stay away from, or if you're like, well, if the story makes sense, never say never type of thing?
I think if the right matchup for the right reasons is in front of me, that's something that I would be open to. I had an Ultraviolet I Quit match at CZW in October against Zeta Steel. That is the extent of my deathmatch experience as of right now. That's not really something that I've ventured into. Look, if the money's right and the story makes sense and the opportunity is something that I feel strongly about, then I'm always open to the conversation.
Shout out to Zeta. This girl's everywhere.
Yeah, jeez. I know. Like, definitely, you know what I mean? Really cool. So Jarett, tell us, like during your downtime, what are some ways you like to disconnect from professional wrestling?
Oh, Madden. I was just playing Madden before I hopped on here. That's my big disconnect. Yeah, I'm a frequent Madden guy. I don't play Ultimate Team. I play online games and I play franchise, and that's it. You can't get me with the microtransactions. I won't do it. Exactly, and I won't do it. I already paid for the game once. I'm not going to keep paying them. So Madden's big for me. Downtime with my lady. She's a musical theater actress. We watch musicals. We go out to the city and do that, or we'll watch stuff at home. I hang with friends. I hang with family. I'm big on seeing a lot of family. I have a lot of it here in New York and a lot of it in general. And that's all like outside of wrestling. Those are the types of things I like to do.
Nice. And just, for those who may be inspired or, has that aspirations of becoming a professional wrestler, like what would be that that main advice that you would be able, to tell someone, to look forward to, if they're going to take that journey into professional wrestling?
Sure. Okay. So the first thing I would say is practical advice, which is find a reputable wrestling school. That's number one, right? Find a place where you can learn from people who will not steer you wrong. That's like the most practical advice. What I could give to somebody who's feeling motivated enough to do it, hold it and hold it tight, because there's going to be a lot of people that may laugh or may think, that it's a silly thing to do. And yeah, maybe for us it's a little bit silly, but that's part of why people like us love it. So
Yes.
if you love it, and if you love it so much that it's something that sits on your heart as a thing you want to do with your life, hold it tight. Don't ever let it go, and don't let anybody take it from you. That's my advice.
I totally agree with you on that, because again, going back to us, doing this show, like it opened up so many doors of a networking experience, talking with talent, talking with other media members, and those who are influencers and social media. Like, it's building a community that if I had I or we been silent, we would never been able to have these interactions with anyone. And like forever grateful to be able to to do this. And it's funny too, because
100%. This is something that you guys wanted to do, and you never let anybody stomp out your dream. You just do it. You just do it.
because I was big on not talking about wrestling on social media. Like, that's something I've never done, and I do got to give I got to give credit to to one of our co-hosts, that's not on this evening. He was the one that kept persuaded me to do it, and I'm like, listen, we do it. Maybe we're going to do this. The long run. So, and here we are today. Being able to to open doors and be able to interact with you. Like, again, forever grateful for for the opportunity. So, with that said, I know you're not. I'm sorry. Yeah, something, Joey.
So just because you're talking about like not really talking about it and stuff, real quick, it's just a kind of generic question, but how mad does it make you when you tell them like you do wrestling and people go, well, it's fake?
Yeah.
Like how much does that drive you insane when they say that?
What's crazy is that I don't get asked that. I don't get that. I don't get asked that as much as you think. That question that you asked me. When people tell me, it's fake, right, or something like that, I don't get mad anymore. And I used to get mad when I was a kid, when I would be trying to defend it, where it's like, no, it's not exactly. It's this and it's that. It's a whole lot of things. And as I get older, and in fact, now that I'm doing it full time, when somebody says that to me, and I usually just answer, it's like, kinda, and I just let them think whatever they want to think about it, unless they have genuine follow-up questions, which I've been really blessed to have, like, people that don't know a lot about it but are a part of my life have asked those genuine questions, and I'll answer them. And I'll when people ask me how matches get put together, how shows get put together, how I get myself booked in places, like, I just answer them earnestly because I care about what I do. But if there's somebody who's just being snarky, and I just let them, what am I gonna? I'm gonna change their mind? No.
Yeah, that's not someone you want in the community anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
facts. Yeah. Hey, Jarett, I got another question for you. So we have the closer, Jarett Diaz, the wrestler. So how frequent are you, like, still in tune with the weekly shows, like, as the fan? Like, are you relatively still tuned in?
I'd
like
say
on Monday, Wednesdays?
I keep up with everything. I don't watch every single minute of every show. I don't tune into cable like that. But I follow all the socials, and I check the YouTube recaps here and there. I do pay attention to everything, because for two reasons, I'll say. Number one, I want to see what people aren't doing on a mainstream level, because I want to be able to fill a hole somewhere, fill a need somewhere. Mm-hmm. Number two, if I'm doing something that I would never imply that they're stealing things from the indies, but if I see something that I'm doing and then somebody else does it on TV, I don't think they got it from me, but I will no longer do it, because the last thing I need is somebody say, oh, you stole that from so-and-so. Not worth it, not worth my time, not worth my energy. I like to stay up with everything so that I'm nothing like that. And that's not, that's not a dig. I want to fill a hole. I want to fill a need somewhere.
Right.
Gotcha.
I feel you on that because I'm not saying the big boys are watching this, but it's been a couple of times we done talked about stuff. Then coincidentally, the next week it's being a storyline on certain shows. Not to give us credit, not to say they stole it from us. I'm just saying.
They stole it from us.
I'm just a wise
You can
man
say
once-
that. I don't think that. I'm just saying
I'm
it's
just
out
saying,
there.
A wise
People
poet.
say it.
A wise
Right.
poet named Jay-Z once said the streets is watching. And clearly somebody's watching the still steps. But it is what it is. But I feel you what you're saying.
But to be fair, Jarett, like what you were saying, like not for nothing, but like they wouldn't give you the benefit of the doubt because you were on the indies or WB. Like, oh, WWE would never steal something from the indies. They would be right away, oh, you're taking it from them. So I definitely see what you're saying, where be different. That way there's no way people can be like, oh, well, he took that from them, when realistically they took it from you, but that's a corporation, you're one man. So I definitely see what you're saying there.
Yeah,
No,
it's hard
exactly.
to now.
It's not worth the energy, and in addition, like the last thing you want to be is unoriginal, inauthentic. I have it in my in my Instagram description, and something that I say pretty frequently too is like, just be you. There's no need to replicate what you see on TV or anywhere else. Just I've always leaned even further into who I am and what I am in my real life to motivate how I move in the ring. So the last thing I need is somebody to say like, oh, you ripped this from such and such. I didn't, because I'm just going to be me. And if I see it anywhere else, I won't do that thing.
Absolutely.
So you said just be me, and so the last question I have for you, and I appreciate you coming on, and I'm sure the guys got some other questions, but just be you. So we talked about your character a little bit in the ring. How much of that is you, and how much of that is the character, or it's the complete polar opposite?
Definitely not the polar opposite. I think there are certain aspects of my personality, of my real life character, that I turn up volumes on, right? So for example, if I'm playing a heel, I'm gonna smile like how I smile, but my eyebrows are gonna do a thing where I'm being a dick about it, or I'm gonna turn up the pretty boy aspects because I know people don't like that about me, for example, or maybe I'll call somebody something as an insult that I heard on my block 3 weeks ago, right? It's like it's real life, and then I bring certain parts of me to my work, right? In that same vein, if I'm a baby face, I'm giving you that same smile, but now it's genuine. Or I'm gonna talk to you like you're my brother, like you're my friend, because it's still, at the end of the day, my character isn't a different guy. The closer, the bodega boy, they're just different little pieces of me that I'm allowing the audience access to.
The bodega boy, love that nickname.
Yeah, showing up in the heart of Northeast Philly with a New York Giants jersey on.
I am a born and bred New Yorker. I don't wear Arizona gear because it's popular. I wear it because it's my favorite drink. I don't wear Yankee pinstripes because people hate the Yankees. I wear it because I'm from the Bronx. So I just am bringing little pieces of me to my act and garnering reactions based on that.
But you wore that Giants jersey in Philly because you were in Philly, right?
I did wear that Giants jersey on purpose. I went out a few days before and got that Giants jersey specifically for that show because I'm a Jets fan. I don't own a single piece of Giants clothing, but I had to go piss you guys off in Philly. And it worked. So thanks.
It definitely worked.
You did your job for sure.
Easy GP. If we run into you, got to bring us a chopped cheese, bro.
Facts.
Hey, steaks are better, bro.
Well, one other, just like a little general question, because I know we all, we were talking about a lot of the news that took place this week. One was Seth Rollins, and also Okada. The news broke out with him going to be departing from New Japan at the end of the month. If you were in the shoes of Okada, you had to choose between WWE or AEW. Which contract are you signing?
Remember, you're Okada.
Okay, so first of all, let me just say I'm right in this situation. I'm Kazuchika Okada. Okay, let me just say before I answer the question that Okada Omega got me into New Japan Pro Wrestling. I was first introduced with the Ricochet Ospreay match that was very polarizing, And then I was really digging it when it was Omega Okada going after it, right? Okada is one of the greatest of all time in Japan, possibly in all of the industry in the world. If I'm Okada and my contract is up, I look at AEW's roster and who do I see? I see Jay White and I see Kenny Omega. And I see other people too, obviously. But I see people that I've told those stories with. There's, of course, a lot of other, incredibly talented performers. But if I'm Okada, I want to go uncharted territory. I want to go, mix it up with the people that I've never, outside of Nakamura, been involved with. To me, that's intriguing.
You forgot Ospreay too.
Ospreay's AEW as well. See, that's
Ospreay's gonna
another
be
one,
there in February.
right? You told those stories. You told those stories, and that's not a bad thing. That's just if I were him, the way that my personality drives me is I want to go see the place I haven't been yet and challenge myself in that way.
I didn't think of it like that, but I actually like that answer.
I'm not him. I don't want to tell you. I'm not him.
Respect.
No, yeah, I like that answer. I like that answer.
Definitely. So, Jarett, I know you were slated for the upcoming event for 5-Star Pro Wrestling. Unfortunately, that's not going down this weekend.
Yeah, still go see it though, guys. I'm not going to be there, but Griffin McCoy is going to be there. Sam Adams is going to be there. Post game is going to be there. Go to the show anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, so 5-Star Wrestling's Ignition going down at the Pajama Factory this Sunday. Tickets, on sale and available at 5starwrestling.net. Bell time, 3 p.m. So, but yeah, man,
amazing bell time.
Yeah, you be home just in time.
Get you home for dinner on Sunday night.
Right, exactly. But Jarett, we greatly appreciate you coming on to the Still Steps, man. Like,
great interview, man.
Absolutely, this one of the.
Do you have any? Before we let you go, do you have anything you want to plug out? Anything you got coming up that you want to shout out to everyone?
Yeah, so unfortunately with the injury, it did pull me out of a few shows in these next couple weekends, but let me get ahead of it anyway. February 2nd, I will be at We Are Wrestling Dustin Waller, a.k.a. Flash Waller, IWTV Tag Team Champion, in the Bronx, New York. The following day, I'm at 1CW in Delaware. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but come, because it's going to be a blast. And then on Sunday, the following day, I am at the 25th anniversary show for CZW in Havre de Grace, Maryland as well. And then other shows. But that's where you can see me in action as closely as possible. It's first weekend of February.
All right, cool. Real quick, Jag, shout your socials. Let people know where they can follow you.
Yes.
Catch everything
you can find me at the Jarett Diaz on Twitter, X, and Instagram. You can find me at Jarett Diaz on TikTok. And do not look for my Facebook. Please don't. Just don't do
it. Respect the Facebook. Please. Respect the Facebook. So, but no, Jarett, man, we greatly appreciate you coming on to the Still Steps as always. Guests, that are first time guests to us, become family. So if ever you want to come back on to the Still Steps, you want to talk your ish, call somebody out, listen, feel free. The platform is yours, bro.
I appreciate it. Hey, next time I'm up for 5-Star Wrestling, I believe I'm scheduled for their May event or their April event. Actually, I'll be for Mania Week. Bring me on then. We'll talk about it a little bit. How about that?
Awesome. We lock you in there. Oh man, but no, thank you again, Jack. We greatly appreciate it. And we definitely gonna communicate around Mania weekend too, because we definitely gonna be out and about for sure.
No doubt.
Absolutely, man. But thank you again. Have a great rest of the evening.
Appreciate that, guys. You as well. Have a good one.
You too.
Brother. Take care, bro.
Oh man, that was brother Jarett Diaz, the closer, joining us here on the Still Steps. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. We're going to circle back with Seth Rollins, then followed by a little bit more into the Okada, and going to run one quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
We are back. Still Steps powered by Edge of Philly Sports, Politic and Hawk, alongside my guys, Mr. Moyo Fit Chris Wilson, Mr. Joey Woods. We just had the closer Jarett Diaz on. Man, that was an amazing interview, man.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. Honestly, we probably could have went 2 hours during that one. Like, so inspiring, hearing his story, just, talking about being on the road, like I know we've heard, many stories, but this one, it hit different, for some reason. I don't know if everybody else agree with that.
No, for sure.
Yeah, man. So, but let's kind of circle back with the breaking news that occurred earlier today with one Seth Rollins. It was reported by Fightful Select, that he sustained a torn MCL and partially torn meniscus during Monday's WWE Raw event. And at this very moment, it's unclear what the status is going to be. Going into one Royal Rumble. Well, actually, I think they took him off the poster for Royal Rumble, so he's definitely not going to be at the Royal Rumble. But WrestleMania, seems to possibly be in doubt. But
they said that?
No, I'm just putting speculating. But Joey, I'm gonna kick it right to you. Like, as far as like your thoughts, with the injury and what could happen, going forward. We got some interesting comments too, by the way. Like, if you want me to go through that before you go, Joey, I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we just had somebody type in, "Oh, do your rules."
Greatest movie ever
from Billy Madison.
Okay.
That was crazy. And then we got Jason Reed.
Hellware.
Oh snap! Was that Hellware? Oh snap! What's up, Hellware? No, wow. What's going on, bro?
What's up? We gotta get you on the show one night.
Absolutely, man.
After your war you had with Tremont at the last X brand. Hopefully we see you at the next X brand whenever one is announced. But thanks for checking in.
Ain't chop it up with him since Nightmare at Glassboro. Yeah. Oh man, we good, bro. We definitely good. We appreciate you. You know what I mean? Chopping it up with us this evening. Out in I think still out in the Vegas area, right?
Yeah, he's out in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Joey, your thoughts on when the news broke out and what immediately start going through your brain as far as Seth and his injury.
Yeah. So at first you're like, damn, because you're thinking like, how does this throw a wrench into whatever they were playing out storyline wise? It's like, obviously everything has to pivot now, depending upon how long he's out for this injury. And then in our group chat, Chris had mentioned possibly changing the Rumble to be for the belt. And I didn't say it in the group because I wanted to talk about it on the show. And I know it's going to be a discussion that we'll discuss.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's the integrity of the Rumble and how long it's been running. It's your challenge for the main event of WrestleMania. I just feel like doing it for the belt kind of opens you up for future years. I just feel like the Rumble is one of the longest lasting things that's sacred in professional wrestling, that I just feel like doing it for the belt maybe like loses that mystery factor a little bit, because if they changed it for the belt right off the top, there's probably 2 or 3 guys that have a shot and that's about it. Whereas with the main event of Rumble, the main event of WrestleMania, you could not be shocked to see a Gunther win or a surprise return from The Rock. What, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different factors. I just feel like changing it for the belt loses the lure of winning, getting that main event, and being able to challenge whoever you want.
Nah, I got you, Chris. Before I let you go, I know when you was talking about like losing the Thunder with the title, I was gonna mention, and I hate to step on your toes, Chris, if you were going to mention this too.
Yeah, you know I was.
Going with looking at the classic Royal Rumbles when they had the undisputed title up, and Ric Flair ended up winning the title at the Rumble. I mean, could it happen? It could. Do I want to see it personally? No. But I'm gonna let you go ahead, Chris. Go ahead and cook, and I circle back in.
Say something. You knew he was going
where
to. I
appropriate.
was going to say. Goodness.
Sorry, I put a Kanye just now. My bad.
Yeah, like this. You knew exactly what I was going to say. So you're just like, I don't want to step on your toes, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Let me just step on your toes.
No, what's the name? But like I said, because it's been done. Like you said, it won't be little to Royal Rumble because it's been done before, not once but twice. Like did it with Ric Flair and they did with Roman Reigns. He went in there as the WWE champion. He lost the belt to Triple H. Horrible booking decision, but nevertheless, what's the name? They've done it before, and that was the title that not to on Seth actually meant something. This is still looked as the B-rated title. So if it's the title that's for the Rumble, I don't think people really gonna be batting an eye. Like this was Roman, like the titles for Roman's Universal title, Undisputed Universal title. Like people would kind of be like, "Oh, that's corny." Like nobody actually want to beat Roman. He's in the Rumble for it. I think that will get a little more backlash than this one. Like it's unseen circumstances is going on with this, so it's not like people would just like this. Like if it's an elimination chamber, like it's the same thing. If you get the 5 top guys in the chamber, no matter if the top 5 guys are big name guys, it's going to be realistically 1 or 2 people like this, depending on who's in there. Like your mindset is going to be like, all right, let's be real, it's going to be him or him. Right. You know what I mean? Like this. Let's be real. So the Rumble, that says no difference. The same thing, and is more exciting than the chamber. And it's like I said, this is and WWE's right now. Even though this is a horrible situation because they're one of the top guys, world champions, injured, they're so spoiled with talent right now. It's like you have so many now new circumstances where you can kind of reshuffle the deck to make it a little more intriguing. So it's like you got your CM Punks, you got Drew McIntyre, who's right now is on fire, so he can immediately go into that title picture. Where a couple weeks ago, even though he was in the title picture, we knew he wasn't going to win. Now it's kind of like, all right, now he's right back in that title picture of, oh, he could be the guy to take the spot for a little while. CM Punk could take the spot. Like it's a horrible thing that happened with Seth, but WWE is going to be fine because they just got so much talent right now. And I mean, big name talent, not just talent, like big name talent guys who can take the spot for a while. Now, don't want to talk ahead of time because I don't know how long he's going to be out. We don't know.
There's still no timetable.
Yeah, this is just the initial news. We don't know. Like I said, now Jarrett was talking about. I guess he was saying with the MCL, tear partial meniscus. You could do rehab. It depends how deep the tear is. Like this, like the background, real quick, people. I'm a personal trainer. Like if that thing is damn near coming off the bone, he's like he can rehab it, but it was going to develop scar tissue. And and if it's not the knee that he had major knee surgery on before, it would make sense for him to actually get the surgery because now he's going to overcompensate like crazy for the knee that he already had were fixed before. And this is a guy whose skill set moves are very high pace, high flying, a lot of stuff where he does his power moves where he's putting a lot of weight on his knees. Yeah. So he can't just rehab that in a couple months and try to put on a 5-star match without potentially hurting himself again. He might do it.
The curve stomp.
Yeah, I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you literally got to jump off your knees, then land from 6 feet in the air back down onto your knees. So it's like he does the buckle bomb. You have to pick a guy up that's almost 200 pounds on your shoulders. So that means all the weight is coming down on your knees. So it's like, whatever decision he makes, Seth Rollins is a professional WWE guy through and through. I know he's going to tough it out, but I would say, if I was a close person is there, like, listen, if you want to chill for a couple months, wrestle at Mania, then go away for a while, fix your body, do that. But like I said, it's all hearsay for right now. We don't know. But I agree with Jerry. He should not. He should definitely not wrestle for the
Right.
next couple months.
Right. I got a question for the both of y'all. Would y'all be okay with WWE leaving the title on Seth as he, if the timetable does manage for him to come back, let's say hypothetical 4 to 6 months? Would you be okay with WWE leaving the title on him? As we were getting closer to Rumble, Chamber, and WrestleMania, and although like we have significant talent that can step up, while he may not be or in the program, at the moment, would you be okay if he still held on to that title? And let's say they developed a storyline which whoever comes out as the top opponent of this storyline would then fight Seth at SummerSlam. Would you be okay with that?
No, I would have to get, if I'm WWE and I'm Triple H, I would have to get clarification that the rehab will take him and bring him back at the WrestleMania. That's as far as I allow it to go. If he's not going to be back at WrestleMania, like, though obviously because they're saying he's going to announce on Monday what's going to happen. If they're by then they'll know timetable wise what he can and can't do. If he's not going to be back by Mania, I think you have to take the belt off him. And then when he's able to come back, you then insert him back in that title picture. Just because Roman is a part-time champion currently, you can't, if Roman is going to keep the belt after Mania, which we don't know for sure what's going to transpire there.
Right.
You can't have both of your titles be off air for that long. That's way too long. Mm-hmm. And I don't, if he's out long term, I think what's going to happen is, and they're going to do this as safely as possible, what's going to happen, Rollins is going to be out there talking about what's happening with him. And then before Rollins can even announce he's going to vacate the title, Priest comes out, cashes in, boom, new champion.
I can see something like that. Chris, your thoughts on that?
That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Like I said, WWE is spoiled right now with top guys who could be inserted in that spot. Because I'm talking about McIntyre, Punk. I forgot Priest is the Senor Money in the Bank because he had the briefcase for so long now. It seems like, and to where he's about to cash in every week, and it never happens. Like they could easily insert him to do that. That would actually make sense. Like Joey was saying, if he's going to be off past WrestleMania, they got to take the belt off him like this there, because the belt, unfortunately, is still not as important to where you could just be like, all right, like this, you know what, you're the champion. Nobody's gonna miss you or the belt. It's like, no, like we have to have that. These companies, these networks who are putting on these shows, like Joey said, they're not gonna have the world champion not on the show. Like, just like, we know he's injured, we feel bad for him, but they're gonna be like, you have to figure out something. Like, we don't want to hear no interim titles. We don't want to hear no, none of that crap. Like this, he's gonna have to vacate it. He's going to have a tournament or something. Figure it out. Like, we need a champion on our show.
I'm gonna let you slide on that interim title shot too. By the way,
I'm just saying we gonna let that like this. That we let that slide on that other network with the other guy, but that other guy's box office. So we let him slide. His name is Seth Rollins is amazing. He ain't box office. His name is, I told you, his levels this. It's top tier, and there's a guy who's the freaking draw. Roman Reigns is the freaking draw, whether we love him, we hate him, he's blah, 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 whatever. He's the guy. Like, he can go away for a little while, because when he comes back, everybody stops and looks, and the numbers go up. Seth can't be gone that long, and people just be like, it's cool. It's just not going to work that way. Like I said, I got a feeling they already know what's up. And like I said, Seth is going to announce on Monday what's going on. What he announces on Monday, I think we can talk about a little bit more. Like, as far as after we figure out what's going to happen, what he says. Like, if Priest cashes in, perfect, makes things a little bit easier. But then at that point, it's like,
yeah. So you kind of tip to the next question as far as like the expectations for what would be next. So if Priest were to cash in, like you look at the level of talent that they have, like who would you create to be that viable opponent to even go after Priest? I actually got one in mind, and I might swerve y'all with this, but I'm gonna let y'all go first. So Priest cashes in, wins the title. Joey, who you got?
We saw it Monday night.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
McIntyre and Priest.
I was thinking the same exact thing. I would go with Drew.
Drew?
Yeah, absolutely.
You too?
Yeah.
I got an unorthodox pick.
Then I say Chad Gable.
No, not at all. I go with R-Truth.
Stop it.
I go with R-Truth.
All right, this has been the Still Steps.
Stop it.
No, hear me out. Look at what he's doing with the Judgment Day. It's a little similar to the Zayn situation, minus being surrounded with the bloodline per se.
Mm-mm.
Like the fans are loving Truth right now. Truth is actually picking up more momentum than a lot of people are expecting him to be right about
Yeah,
now.
but R-Truth is not Sami Zayn when that bell rings.
He's not. But all it takes is for one milestone beatdown that Priest has to to give the R-Truth, and that's going to get the fans on their side. And listen, I'm not saying that this needs to be drawn out to WrestleMania, but it helps. Like
I don't know. I've always liked R-Truth. He's never been one of my favorite.
I like R-Truth, but
for like top guys, but I don't think he deserves a title shot. You don't like even with the storyline going on, you can't reward guys just because the storyline's there or because they've been around so long. If you're gonna put your top prize, no matter if it looks as the B title, don't matter. If you want to put your top prize on somebody, it's because you think they're going to bring in something, some revenue, some ticket sales, merch. R-Truth's not going to do that. He's just not. So it can't be Truth.
Because let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Truth's over right now because it's funny.
Yes,
right.
It's not
hilarious.
because they want to see him win. With Sami Zayn, people wanted to see him win.
Yeah.
So but Truth, I like Truth as the comedy relief guy. Even when his jokes are not even hitting like that, he just says it in a way where you still giggle a little bit because it's just so it's so at times funny, but sometimes also so corny. But it's the way he delivers it that makes it funny. It's just is this guy really like this, or is he, But it's so I I always like Truth. He's that guy. He needs a lifetime achievement award. He is 50 something years old.
Yeah, that's nuts to me.
He's still in the business. He's still all these WWE guys, talent. Let's be real. Who is, let's say, respectfully better than him in the ring, on a microphone, whatever, who came and gone, and he is still there. He deserves a lifetime achievement award like this. I give him all the credit in the world for what he's done. Like I said, former NWA champion, first black NWA champion. Love him for that. Shout out to him. But if Priest cashes in, Drew should definitely be the guy that's his first competition because Drew's just killing it right now. He really is. This character he's doing right now. I like just Drew.
More than likely, it'll probably be Drew.
Yeah.
I go. They're kind of BSing with that answer, but I wouldn't mind seeing Truth. Look, get that one shot. One time. But then go.
He get the shot, but he gonna lose. He needs to lose. He needs to lose.
He's definitely gonna lose. But if I speak into an existence and he actually does get the shot for Mania, don't beat me up,
No, I mean crazy things to happen.
No, that would be wild, but not for nothing too. Truth actually met Tupac back in the day. Did you see that?
No.
He had photos with him and all, with him and Eazy-E.
See, that's how old this guy is.
Yeah.
Shout out to Truth, man.
Oh, big time.
K Quick.
Right? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, how about that? Joey probably don't even know about that.
I have no idea.
You don't remember
Exactly.
Kid Quick? Oh, what? Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
got
when
you.
R-Truth first got signed to the WWE, he was in a tag team with Road Dogg, and his name was K Quick.
Mm-hmm.
I was like this. I was like, I was just like, who the hell is this guy? To be honest, it's like, who the hell is this guy coming down? I hate Road Dogg at that point annoyed me so much. Like he annoyed me so much. He comes down the rapping stuff with the overalls and I was like, yo, all right, enough, bro. Just stop it. Like we stop this shit.
Yeah, no, that was a wild situation though.
Yeah.
But we what I mean, just switching gears though, we do got the Royal Rumble coming up on the 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and we actually got a member of our panel that's going to be down there covering the event. One, Mr. Joey Woods, got the clearance, to get the media pass to go cover the Royal Rumble event. So
he ain't taking us, but it's all good. It's
yeah,
all
right.
good.
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to just like do our predictions, like do my predictions now, because I won't be on next week.
Right. Damn, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Damn, honestly, I'm not prepared at all. Like I am not prepared.
I am. I ain't gonna. I've been thinking about this for a while, but honestly, with this Seth thing, it kind of threw me off for who I was for the men's side of it. The women's side, I already got my pick, but the men's side, the Seth injury, it's kind of got me cut now a little like,
Nah, I still think they're sticking to the plan.
So
Yeah.
like, it makes sense, but I'm just like,
Now, I mean,
so here's what I got.
I was about to say, you go ahead and talk about what what you expect, Chris. You and I will
I'll wait next week.
We'll hold off on our picks. Going into next week. But
so I'll do two things here. I'll say my Rumble predictions.
Okay.
This is if Seth's fine, he can go, and then I'll say what I think happens if Seth can't go and what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
So what I'm hoping for and what's going to happen isn't the same thing. What I'm hoping for happens is that the reason that we're having a fatal four-way at the Rumble for the title is because it allows Roman to lose the belt without being pinned. Put the belt on Randy. You have Cody win the Rumble. Cody finishes his story against his old running mate in Legacy. That's what it was, right? Legacy?
Yes.
So still finishing the story. The story doesn't have to be beating Roman. The story was him winning the title. Roman was just a speed bump in that story. If people keep saying finishing the story entails beating Roman, that's only because Roman currently has the title. If Roman was to drop the title, the story is still to beat whoever it is with the title. That's what I think would happen. And I think Punk would win the Chamber, and you get Punk Rollins, you get Cody, Randy, and then Rock Roman
at Mania.
That way, because that doesn't need a belt. The belt would be an afterthought paperweight if you do Rock Roman. No one cares about the belt. So what I think's gonna happen, that's what I want to happen. What I think's gonna happen is Rock wins the Rumble. Punk, if Rollins is good, Punk wins the Chamber, and then we go from there. If Rollins is hurt, honestly, if Damian doesn't cash in, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, I don't know what they are possibly gonna do with that title, unless you do like a wonky thing where the last two guys in the Chamber go to WrestleMania. Like, you've seen it done before where that's happened,
right?
Or you do two Chamber matches where you just say you have the main event be because isn't Rhea from Australia?
Yes.
So have the main event be Rhea for the belt, a one-on-one match.
I think we're going to get that with both her and Nia
in a one-on-one.
Yeah.
And then do two men's chambers where each chamber winner fights for the belt.
I don't think we'll get two chambers for the men. I think we'll probably get the one, and it'll probably be for the
you'll put the title on the line right then and there.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
But then how do you decide? Because here's the thing: the chamber is set up to decide who fights the other champion for the belt.
Right.
How do you then decide who challenges for that title?
Yeah, so I guess after whoever was the Rumble, they're immediately going to announce who they're going to face. They usually the next night they
Yeah.
tell who they're going to face.
Yeah.
Shit, lately they've been doing the same night.
Yeah, and then I guess from there, when the chamber comes up, they're going to say this person is going to be vying for the whatever championship that the other person didn't call out for.
Well, no, but what Hakeem was saying is if Rollins is hurt and has to drop the belt, the chamber would be for the belt straight up. But what I'm saying is, how do you then decide who the other challenger is for that belt at Mania?
If that's the case, whoever wins the chamber, Priest is going to cash in on them for Mania.
That works. That works too. Or I wouldn't be shocked if they did a Ronda Rousey type situation where, just say Seth says he's good to go. The winner of the Rumble calls out Seth after, they bring out Roman if he wins, bring out Seth like they did before, decide who they want to do right then and there. And before that person even has a chance to say Rock's music hits, he challenges Roman and kind of forces the other person's hand.
Right.
To take Rollins.
Because honestly, if you think about it, with Cody being on Raw, and there still would be that separation from him being able to get to Roman on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So if anything, maybe Cody lose. No, Cody would have to win the Rumble.
He would have to win the Rumble
in order to challenge Roman. So therefore, if he wins the Rumble, he's out of the chamber.
That's why I said that this thing with Seth kind of messed me up with the men's Rumble, because how I had it going, I thought somebody was going to win the Rumble. I thought Cody was going to win the chamber somehow, and somehow there was some freaking loophole crap going on to where he can go to SmackDown and challenge Roman because the general managers make some type of deal or something. Like,
yeah, they're going to have to break the brand for the chamber match in order to fulfill the chamber, to be able to fulfill like the top tier talent, because Randy's on SmackDown. You already got AJ LA Knight going up against Roman at the Rumble. And Randy Orton. So it's like, I don't know. There's a disconnect. I gotta really, take, it might take me another week to really dissect this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Whatever happens
a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whatever happens on Monday is gonna probably have me a little more clear-headed of where I think may happen. But
yeah,
like I said, this injury really threw me off. Like I said, I was like, oh, okay. Because I was dead set on this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Now I'm like, I don't know now.
Right. Real quick, not to go way left. We actually ain't go way left all night. Now that I think about it, and we're an hour and 27 minutes into the show. But one thing that gets me when we do this show, and Joey, this actually pertains to you. Like I know when you're investigating something behind the scenes, like I can hear your keyboard moving in the background. Like,
you hear it.
I'm trying to look if there's any news yet about him. Like, leaving us in the dark, bro. It's annoying.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I kind of like it to a certain extent. Like, you still, from the fan sake, from the media sake, it's like, all right, I do need to know something, but from the fan, it's like, surprise me.
Yeah, no, this is messed up for Seth. Once again, get well, Seth. Whatever happens,
definitely
heal up, get well. But it's very, for wrestling marks like us, it creates a lot of intrigue and excitement especially because once again, it's because what season we're about to be in. Like this, we're on the road to WrestleMania, so this is like, God is like, oh, well, it's going to happen now. So it's like, it's a gift and a curse, definitely.
Yeah.
But but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Definitely. Before we jump off, to our final topic of the evening. Joy, did you want to talk about a couple of the events you'll be attending down at the Rumble? Aside from the actual Royal Rumble event.
So the only of so this is all like up in the air still. I haven't given the 100% yet. I
Okay.
believe that's actually should be coming fairly soon. With yes or no's is there's a screening for Bianca and Ford's new. I believe it's like a weekly show that they're going to be having.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hulu show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be a screening for that. And they asked if I would want to partake in that, and I was like, "Damn right." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Q&A and stuff like that. Unfortunately, with the way I booked all this before I knew I was getting approved for the media credentials. So I had flights already booked. So unfortunately, I'm going in Friday morning. So I'll miss the media scrum with the wrestlers on Friday because that's 9 a.m.
Okay.
On Friday, my flight lands at 8:55, so I'll miss that unfortunately. But yeah, I'll definitely be there for Rumble. Hopefully, I'll be at the media press conference afterwards. Again, I don't know if they let everyone in or how that works, so this is all new to me. But I'm gonna go out there with an open mind and see what happens.
Nah, man, that's super dope, man. You know, congrats to you. You know, I wish you could pack me with you so I could, you know, what I mean, get down there too. But I look like I'm here.
I think you might go over the 40-pound limit though.
Oh, that's a fact.
Facts.
They're gonna be like, yo, take this luggage to the back.
Yeah.
Like, something what's in
They'll
there.
be like, "Oh shit, your luggage is breathing, my man."
Like, yo, get the dog, get the canine. Say no. You know what? Before we actually get to Okada, you know, and everyone's thoughts on this, I do got one thing I want to bring up, and it's been heavy on my mind ever since this match occurred, and it actually evolves around AEW, and it was the main event with Samoa Joe and Hook. I know, Joey, we had some communication about this, but something that did catch my mind during the match, and it seems to have trickled over the very next day, and I'm gonna just take it from a general, you know, standpoint about wrestlers kicking out at one from another wrestler's finisher. For it or not for it is the question. I'm not for it. And I know I've seen it happen many times, like on the indie circuit. And you know, like I'm not really much of a fan of it, because if it's someone's finisher that they, you know, normally would beat an opponent, maybe even for a title, like what makes one wrestler in particular, you know, so able to kick out at one when, you know what I mean, this person used this same finisher on someone to hold a title.
Yeah.
Like I'm good on it, especially, you know what I mean, especially on a national front. Like, nah. And then I bring it up because of the whole Samoa Joe Hook situation. And you know, Samoa Joe, you know what I mean, did his finisher, and Hook kicked out at one, like literally kicked out at one. But it took for him to be choked out, pause, and you know, to be able to get the victory over Hook. But I throw that to y'all as far as this, you know what I mean, this type of finish, and for it, you know, for someone to be kicking out at one. Chris, I'm gonna start with you first. Kicking out at one, for it or not for it?
It's dumb as shit. Like I don't get it. Why? I just like, seriously, why? What does it do? It makes the other wrestlers' finishing move look weak now. And it was named, now you're supposed to be this dominant dude who just kicks out. Joe is twice the dude's size. Like this, he just put this devastating finishing move. And I get this whole Hook spiel. He's just tough, silent, deadly dude who just did. But like, come on, no, dude, no. Nothing about you says you're so tough. I believe you're kicking out at one. After
From New York. What do you mean?
like this? Like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm from Philly. If Joe hits that move on me, it's 1, 2, 3. It's not. I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up. It's like this. This is what it is. What's the name? But I seen it before. Way back when Triple H, infamously pedigreed Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior popped up, like didn't sell it at all. It was like, oh, okay, so now the pedigree move is shit. It's most devastating finisher, most protected finisher in wrestling history is the
What was that?
pedigree.
WrestleMania 12?
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
one of the most
Or
protected
13.
finishers. There's certain finishers that's ungodly protected. Triple H's pedigree, the one winged eagle, like is like I never see the Razor's Edge. Nobody kicks out of these. What's the
Right.
name? And it's like I don't get it. It to me doesn't make either wrestler look good, to be honest. Like this, like he kicked out of one. It's like all right, but then he still goes on to get choked out. I'm not gonna say pause. I don't need to. He's still gonna get like he got choked out minutes
Pause.
later. It's like okay, like so he's that tough that he could pick out at one, but he's not tough enough so he can get out this stranglehold. You know why? In reality, he can't because when a guy's twice your size choking you, you're not gonna you're gonna pass out. Looks like this. That's realistic. So I don't think in the long run people are gonna really like lose sleep over this. But it's just like you look at it, you're just like, all right. Like I know wrestling is sometimes supposed to have that awe effect, but it doesn't even give that. Like be honest.
Yeah, like nah, like as soon as I saw it, like I definitely went right to Twitter. And Joy, before I kick it to you, because you had even more beef, you know what I mean, with it, which it seemed like the media also agreed with you as far as just bringing the realism to the storyline. You know what I mean, with one Hook was getting beat down in front of his pop. So first question is, are you for or not for the kick out at one? And then, kind of, talk about the whole, situation with, like, I know you said it was a violation about, Taz being there ringside, but not putting a hand, or not intervening with, what was going on, during that main event.
Yeah, I at first, in terms of, so let's do the move first, and then we'll talk about is it a violation or not. I think the move matters too. Like look at a name like Okada. We mentioned him a lot tonight.
Right.
You're not gonna see someone kick out of his finisher. It's a move that's been protected for all these times. Samoa Joe, another move that should have been protected, unfortunately wasn't. That's bullcrap that it wasn't, but it is what it is, and we gotta go on from there. I think it matters. I just think the move matters. Like a curb stomp, we've seen it kicked out plenty of times before. I don't think it matters as much there, but Joe should get kicked out by Hook. Maybe a close 2.
Yeah.
But a 1 is just like, well, how does he pin people with that then? If they can do that at 1, then no one should be getting pinned to 3 ever after a hard fought match. He kicks out at 1.
Right.
So that to me just didn't make sense. And then the Taz thing pissed me off so bad, guys. Like, it absolutely drove me insane.
He was hot, Chris.
and here's why. And Chris, once I say what I'm gonna say, you're gonna agree. So, you hear Taz on commentary the whole time. They don't let you not know that Taz is Hook's father. Like they make it a point every chance they get.
Yeah.
So that's fine. We know he's his son and stuff, but they just had a hard fought match. Taz is putting over his son, how hard he fought and stuff. Hook gets up, kind of flips off Samoa Joe, and Joe come back in the ring. Then they turn the camera angle. So you now see Hook and Samoa Joe going at it, but you can see Taz in the background, right? So the match is done, and Joe is beating the crap out of Hook now, and Taz is just standing there. You want me to care that Taz is Hook's father, but when this man is getting his ass beat after a match and I can see him in the camera, that's an issue. Either switch the camera to the hard angle so I can't see Taz, or make Taz get involved. To me, there didn't make sense. Now, if I'm not mistaken, too, didn't they try to do a thing where Taz was like Samoa Joe's mentor or something?
Yeah.
In Impact?
Back in the Impact days,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, play on that. You know what I mean? Joe walks away because he respects Taz. So, just to me, that was a huge missed opportunity there. And then it just, I don't know, it just pissed me off the way that whole thing transpired. And one more violation I have, and at first it wasn't a big deal, but now it's just getting like, bro, too much. We're at 11:44, I can say.
Yeah, we good.
The fucking makeup on Swerve's eyes.
Yeah.
What is that? What is
I
that?
hated it.
Like, you have absolutely no storyline where you're like this demonic person.
Yeah.
But yet you have eye black underneath your eyes. And at first it was only a little bit, so I was like, all right, that's fine. On Wednesday, it was like caked on there. I'm like, come on, bro. What are we doing here? Are you trying to be a vampire with your long trench coat and your eye black now? Like, what is going on?
I like the trench coat and everything, but he don't need that makeup crap. He just a cool dude. He just a tough guy. Just be a tough guy.
Yeah.
Just be the boss. Be the kingpin. Play off that. But kingpins don't wear eye makeup. Let's just be real. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is, but they just, whoever the powers that be, or if it's Swerve, respectfully, that if you think that's a thing he wants to do and you think that gets
I think
him
it's
over,
definitely him, Chris. I think they give him enough freedom character wise that it's all him.
If he thinks that works, like, I mean, we'd be like, no, that don't work, but it is not needed. Put it that way. It's like he doesn't need it, but teach his own. I agree with you on that, Joey. That's weird. And to the Taz thing, as a father, there's no way I'm watching my son getting his ass whooped. I'm just sitting there like, oh man, like, nah, I'm running down to that ring. We about to get in a scrapping now. So
now, Bully Ray did make a point on Busted Open the other day that,
of course he did.
About to say, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as if Taz had intervened in the main event, then the spotlight would have been on Samoa Joe and Taz.
But I don't agree with that. If Taz is intervening on any random match,
disclaimer, I'm not saying I agree with it or anything. I'm just saying what he said. So
if that was any random person, I agree. But Taz is coming in only for the simple fact that it's son. He don't give a rat's ass about Samoa Joe. He's doing it to save his son. He would have done it against anyone if his son was getting beat up. Because remember, and I want to connect this back, and I forgot about it. But remember when Jungle Boy turned on Hook?
Oh, Hook, yeah.
How well that was done.
Yeah.
Taz was so distraught and upset that he left the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But you're not distraught and upset standing. Because remember, that was when they were in the back on the top where it would have been hard for him to get into the ring to stop it. Wednesday night, he was 5 feet from the ring, and that happened. I get what they're saying, but it's not like he's just helping some random dude. He's helping his son. Right. He's not doing it because it's Samoa Joe. He's doing it to save his kid.
Yeah. Shoot, when he took that spot at the commentator's desk, I was like, shit. Like, how do you not, go frantic and be like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like this is my son.
Yeah, and I get you're trying to build Hook up to this big person. But at the same time, we still have to I sometimes think that in AEW does a little more, and I think it's what hurts them sometimes. They make it too much about wrestling, and they don't connect it back to the real person and not even the story, but like real human emotions.
Right.
That we should still have watching this wrestling. Like, sure, wrestling matters more, but as a real human with human emotions, a father's going to protect his son or is going to speak up on it and not just announce the match as a proud father. And I feel like they miss that sometimes, and that's what WWE capitalizes on.
Yeah, random. Get rid of the FTW title. We don't need it. Get rid of it. Throw it away.
Stop.
Throw it away.
Doing these belts. We get it. You think AEW has too many belts.
God damn. Seriously, do we need that belt, though? Out of all the belts.
I think that Tony paid a lot of money to WWE to have the right to that belt. And God damn it, he's making sure he gets his money worth.
It's never defended. It's like it's about to be the $1 million belt.
Why would it be defended? What is it? It's
Exactly.
Taz's made up belt, but that was the same thing at
Exactly.
ECW.
Exactly.
FTW.
Got it, but I didn't like it at ECW.
It's
Which
like
actually
UFC.
stands for Bleep the World, by the way.
Yo, I know.
It's like UFC where the baddest man on the planet belt. It don't mean shit. It just adds to a match.
But they actually get the toughest guys to fight each other, so it actually kind of makes sense. When you see Dustin and Gaethje, you like, this makes sense. That's about to be Gaethje and Holloway.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Wait,
Like
which belt had more relevancy? The 24/7 or the FTW?
oh god, I'm not answering that.
24/7. It's not even close, bro.
Our Truth is a 54-time 24/7 champion.
See what
24/7, 365. Whatever he says.
7-11.
How come he can't go for the World Heavyweight Championship then?
Where's the 24/7 title right now, my man?
I know
It's not even a trash because Nikki Cross missed it. So.
Yeah, somewhere laying at some arena.
Dead and gone.
Shout, you know what? Shout out to Nikki Cross. She just got her master's degree.
Nice, yeah. I
You know who else is
score for a minute? Yeah.
Since we're shouting out people, shout out to Chelsea Green, who just officially got her. I'm not sure if it was her citizenship or her green card to be an American citizen. So,
was she?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
That's love.
She's married to a guy from the U.S., so finally, she's.
So I know we talked about Okada, and just to end this show,
yeah,
we talked about where and what. If you guys were Okada, I'll ask you guys same thing we asked Diaz. If you guys are Okada, what are you doing? And then I'll say my feelings.
Initially, I gotta be honest, like I was leaning towards AEW, but after the conversation with Jarrett and a little bit of influence of social media as far as like people were naming talent that Okada could face. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Okada in WWE. However, they gotta do it right. It has to be right. And that's the part that bothers me because I feel like Okada could easily be fit, into the category where now, Nakamura is. And it's like Nakamura he's doing these great vignettes week after week or attacking a wrestler. But then when it comes down to the actual premium live event, he's losing.
He's the WTF of WWE.
Yeah. that bothers me. But if he were to go to AEW, I know there's a little bit more freedom to where he could probably book how he wants to be booked, as well as potentially go over with the talent that he's going to fight. But man, like, would I love to see him, have a banger with like a Cody Rhodes or a Randy Orton or Roman. Like I would love to see it, but the way WWE is structured, like they're the top pillar. And not saying that Okada is not ready for that. It's just that Okada has been so much of the top tier in New Japan, like to actually have to become a mid card at for a WWE, like it would be hard. Not saying that he won't be a mid card in AEW, but he probably will have more potential to be in that, the top bill for AEW than he probably does in WWE. But that's what I think about that. Go ahead, Chris, and we'll let you go. What you thinking, Joey?
What's the name? To be 100% honest, if I was Okada, I wouldn't sign to neither. I would stay with New Japan. Like this, on the simple fact, I do not like how the way AEW nor WWE books Japanese wrestlers. They don't do it well. If they do it, they do it for like a period, and then it goes way left to what they do don't make sense. They booked Asuka amazingly at first, from NXT all the way to her main roster run. Then what happens? She loses to Charlotte at WrestleMania. Horrible booking. Like this, they finally give her the title, but her runs are kind of meaningless, even though she's one of the best female wrestlers in the world. But they always put her in some like weird situation. She wins the belt from Bianca Belair, and that honestly nobody really wanted to happen at the time, but she did it, and then it meant nothing. And then next she lost it. And then now Io Sky has it. Io, one of the best wrestlers out there, over like hell. Like, but and even in Damage Control, she's not even the main person who's the focus is on.
And she's a champ.
And she's the champion. That's what I'm saying. Like, you look at the history of WWE and their Japanese stars, they do not book them well. AEW is no different, because you look at a man who just beat Kenny Omega. He beat him, and then they did nothing with him for like the next 6 months. So now they're starting to do stuff with him now, but it's like they're not booking their Japanese stars well either. So like this, I know Okada's done everything possible you could do in New Japan. Like 7-time champion, has the best rivalries between him, Omega, Ospreay, freaking everybody. You think about it, he's done it 1,000 times over. You come over and get so much more money with AEW and WWE. He can ride out to the sunset and make his money and have great rivalries. But if I was him, I'm the guy forever in New Japan. They will treat him like a king, pay him the most money they possibly can afford to pay him, and he will still have great matches regardless. And how the way the landscape of wrestling is now, you never know who end up in New Japan in the next week or two. So it's no more lifer deals with these companies. Like, people legit will sign like a 2-3 year contract. Next thing you know, they wind up in Japan, or work with AEW and still wind up in Japan. So it's, so it's not like he will be missing out, but ultimately, if he had to choose between one of the two, I would say WWE, on a simple fact, because his guy Nakamura is there. They're good friends. It'd be all types of matchups that we would love for him to see and what he could do in that atmosphere. But if I was him, like personally, or if I would stay with New Japan, just because I would think he would just get booked horribly with either company. To be honest, even with Triple H running the show, I just don't think you get booked well.
Joey, your thoughts on that?
See, so originally, and I'm still sticking with it, but I see what Diaz was saying. But originally, I'm like AEW all the way, and here's why. It's because I'm worried about the booking of WWE. Like, I'm not saying they're doing bad booking or anything like that, but Okada's English isn't too well. It's not perfect. And nothing for nothing, and this is not an attack on Okada. I think he's a great wrestler, but I think that's all he is. He's a great wrestler, right? Does he really have that character that's going to get him over in the WWE? I don't know. I don't know if he has that charisma and character that's going to get him over with the WWE fans that he needs to be able to get over. He's a great wrestler, which is why I say AEW, because you can get over by just being a great wrestler in AEW.
Right.
In WWE, you need a little more. You need a little bit more of that with the lack of English, and
you got to be an entertainer.
And he hasn't had to do that with New Japan.
Yeah, he has to be an entertainer. Right. Yeah.
And so I don't know if he can do that. So unfortunately, we're saying all these huge names, but he'll probably fall in the mid card, unfortunately, with him in WWE. And that's just a simple fact of, and it's not because they have too much talent, because in the ring, he's, I think, head and shoulders over anyone they have, maybe except like Seth Rollins right now currently.
Yeah.
In the ring. It's a simple fact of character, and unfortunately, it's just not going to get him over, and you need to be able to do that in WWE. So for that, I would say go to AEW. And I get what our guest was saying in terms of, we look at Ospreay and Omega and Jay White, and they're kind of past foes, but they were some of Okada's best matches ever. Like, and not just Okada's matches ever, some of the best wrestling matches ever. If we can get those recreated in AEW on national TV so that everyone can see it, because there's a lot of people right now who are wrestling fans who haven't saw Okada and Ospreay, who haven't saw Okada and Jay White, who haven't saw Okada and Omega. This will give them the opportunity to see these matches. And again, this is not attacking WWE, because I love WWE, but I don't know if they'll let them work like AEW would, regardless if it's a premier live event or a Raw or SmackDown. They're not going to get the work rate that you would allow in AEW. So for that, I'm going AEW.
To play a little devil's advocate, I would think that most AEW fans may have already saw Okada work with the likes of the Nakamura's and everyone else that that we mentioned. WWE Universe, maybe not so. But that also goes with because of the age range of those who are actually tuned into WWE. Because if you really think about the age range of WWE, it's like the range of us and to those who have kids that are also tuned in that have their favorites, as far as like the top stars. So those, from the kids. I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think that they're actually like checking into New Japan or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Rarely. No, I highly doubt it. I mean, that's not even an assumption. Like they're not like doing that. Like this. More so the late teens, early 20s. People are like the AEW core fan base of they just love all wrestling. Like they tune into everything.
Right.
So it's like that's why I was like Okada going to AEW is like me thinking that like all right, he's wrestled all these guys 1,000 times over. Some of his best matches ever. I agree with Joey on that. But it's like you've seen this so much. It's like do you want to see this again? I have a feeling in AEW it wouldn't be the same.
Right.
I just have a feeling those matches would not have that same oh my god aspect as it did in New Japan. So it's that's what I said. I would just stay in New Japan if I was him. He's already GOAT in New Japan wrestling. He was what Ric Flair was to NWA, what Hulk Hogan was to the 80s. That was I know. That was Okada. I usually say the red and yellow guy. That's what Okada is to New Japan wrestling. Like I would just stick it out there, man. But like I said, they'll back Brinks trucks up for him in either company. So I do not blame him for signing on that dotted line for one of those companies. Like why not, man? You put your body on the line for so many years. Now you want to reap the rewards of all your hard work. So I get it.
I mean, you see what he's doing in the clip. He makes it rain as the rainmaker.
Shit.
What if he actually came over with his intro was that rap song like "Make it rain, rain, make it rain."
Yeah, man.
He'd be my favorite wrestler.
Yo, you gotta put the Lil Wayne on, Fat Joe on. Yeah, I'm in this with terror. got a handful of stacks. Grab it up, I make it rain. Like that. That'd be the best. Yo, come out there, start hitting like. And Grant, I know his move is very devastating. It is, but it's so regular. It's like this. It's
Hook
like
will kick out at one.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, when I first saw him do it, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, this is the move nobody can kick out of. I was like, okay. It's a clothesline.
Don't you talk down on the Rainmaker finisher?
I was just shocked. Like I was like, when he lands it, don't wrong. It's like damn, he's trying to take the guy's head, but I'm like, it's a clothesline. It's like,
to be honest, in some New Japan matches, some opponents have kicked out, but at around two and a half.
Yeah,
but it wasn't one.
Because you look at it as like it's a clothesline. Like the clothesline from hell was devastating because you got some momentum. Like you got a 200+ pound.
Yeah, I was about to say, look who's delivering it.
That's what I'm saying. Running the ropes at full speed and clobbering you. So I get that one. The Rainmaker just kind of spinning you real quick and boom. I was like, all right, it's like
it is. It is weak.
It's a little generic, just like all right, it's just okay. it's like it's an interesting finishing move, but all right.
Look, he go to WWE, he hit the Rainmaker on Roman, and Roman kicks out at one. Like, are you kidding me?
Roman doesn't stay down. He's like he just rolls out the ring and laughs at Paul Heyman. Like, what was that?
If that were to ever happen, I think that would be Okada's first and last match in WWE.
Yeah, because TNA did dirty back in the day.
Yeah, like and I was going to mention for him to possibly maybe sign over with TNA. By the way, is there any ETA when we're going to see the match with him on that TNA match?
I haven't seen it announced yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on it either.
He still has dates in February with New Japan, even though his contract's over the end of this month. He has a New Japan day, I think February 11th.
Interesting.
But his contract is up the 31st of this month.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's like that's him and Ospreay. Like there must be some type of, I guess that's part of their deals. Like, all right, you guys are done, but just do this one last show for us.
Right. More than likely. If I'm not mistaken, or maybe this could have been made up, but I thought I saw something that his final match was going to be him and Tanahashi. Is there any truth to that?
Possibly. That might be the match February 11th.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that had like a poster with both him and Tanahashi on it, saying that would be his final match.
That'd be cool.
That was like the inside joke that a lot of these guys who are fighting on this card, this is like no longer contracted with New Japan. So it's like, but they're all on a New Japan show. Like, so whatever.
The no contract pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'll fight. It's like
money talks, baby.
Yeah. So all right, fellas, we're literally at the 2-hour mark. Like
it's way too long.
Man. Honestly, it don't feel like it tonight. Like tonight,
way too long. That interview was great. Shout out to Jarett again.
Yeah, man. This was moving this evening. Like that, definitely appreciate it. But no, shout out to the closer Jarett Diaz for joining us this evening. Discussing his career as well as a host of other topics. During the conversation. But yeah, so Joey, you'll be down at Royal Rumble next week. I guess with me and you, Chris, will be
we'll be here
doing our prediction show.
Yeah,
as far as going into Royal Rumble, and we'll have further conversation as far as doing the recap for the event and stuff. So yeah man. But man,
might do a post show. We'll see.
Oh no, we definitely doing a post show.
It's Royal Rumble, so
yeah,
don't mind.
It's like one of the 4 for 4s in a way.
Let's get them numbers up. Let's get them numbers
up. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing a post show. But no man, but yeah, no, this was definitely a great interview. I mean, I'm saying great interview, great show, and great interview, great show. I enjoyed the dialogue very, very much. Again, shout out to everybody that was tuned in this evening. So, definitely continue to follow us on our platforms, our respective platforms. Minus Moyo Fit 215. He don't got the ad on there. So, but cool. Yeah, just add the ad to Moyo Fit 215.
These days, you just type it in.
And you'll find them.
You just type it in, it comes up.
Man, dude, I type. You know what? I don't know if I even want to say it here. Like I just did like a Google and typed in the name, and like literally like all the episodes and stuff was popping up, like social media platforms popping up. I was like, damn, like we at that time, huh? Like, goodness gracious.
There, baby. Follow us on Twitch.
Yeah, literally.
Follow YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. What's name? We out here.
Absolutely.
X. Follow us on X. Still Steps, Edge of Philly Sports. Listen.
Indeed.
Absolutely. One step at a time, baby.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So, again, we greatly appreciate everybody tuning into the Still Steps this evening. Definitely check us out next Friday, where we'll definitely be going over the Royal Rumble event, followed by our predictions and whatever else, takes place during the week. So that way we could talk about that turnbuckle talk. So, till then,
you love throwing that in there, bro.
What?
Talk about the turnbuckle talk.
Oh, turnbuckle talk.
That's his line. That's his line.
Man. Let me talk about that turnbuckle talk, man. Turnbuckle talk.
Yeah, you haven't said let's get to the shits though. You haven't said it in like a little bit. Man, you're falling off, bro.
It was only a week and a half. I got switch it up. Like can't be too predictable. Then somebody gonna be like, oh, I know his moves. And then they're gonna start, chiming in the comments talking about some same old shit. But look, we know that. It's all about thinking outside of the box. But anyway,
stop it.
Then, this is powered by Edge of Philly Sports.
I hate you,
Mr. Moyo Fit 215, Chris Wilson, Mr. Joey Woods. I am politicking hot. Till next Friday. On that note, we're going to hit that outro. Somebody play the outro for us, please. And we'll catch y'all next week.
What?
Peace.